We live in a world where literally everything is presented to you all of the time. And because of that, a lot of us, especially younger people like me, have genuinely become like desensitized to what we see online. Obviously right now there's a lot of stuff going on in Minneapolis with ICE and all that garbage, right? And I see it on the news. My mom, when I get home, she's watching the news on the TV, and I see her like watching this stuff, and she's getting upset with it, right? Obviously, that's the correct, and that's like the correct reaction is to be upset. Is to be like, what the fuck? Why are people dying for essentially like for no reason? Why like what is going on over there? Why the fuck is it chaos? You know, why why? And I just looked at her like, yep, all right, moving on. I didn't really care. And she looked at me like, how are you not upset by this, EJ? Like how are you not in an uproar? I'm like, I am upset about this. I don't like that they're doing that. Obviously, I have a brain, I have a heart, I'm a human being with normal emotions and thinking patterns. I don't like what they're doing. I think ICE is a bunch of fucking losers. That's a bit of an understatement, but you get the point. I explained to her that I like nothing I do can change that. It's weird to explain to people the idea and the concept of not caring about things that don't affect you, because that just sounds so selfish. It sounds like I'm an asshole. It sounds like, oh, he only cares about himself. He doesn't, but that's like not what I'm trying to convey. I'm saying like there are just so many things in the world right now that I have to care about, and that I do care about, and I think are awful, and like if I was able to, I would help rectify them, but it's like I can't, you know, I can't. I can't go to Minneapolis and stop those ICE agents from being dickheads. I can't go to the Middle East and just figure that shit out. I can't go to Ukraine or Russia and help them sort that out. I can't do anything. So it's like wasted energy for me to, you know what I'm saying? I see a lot online, people who say you need to spread awareness, or they get mad at people who have large followings who are not spreading awareness. It's like, oh, you have a platform, you should be advocating for this. And like to a degree, I understand that. I understand that like if you have the ability to speak to a shit ton of people, you should totally say something of importance, right? But I also see it as like, what do you want me to do? I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. I can't do anything. I've been thinking about how that relates to like protecting my own peace, you know, trying to keep myself level-headed and focusing on what I can improve in life. But again, that just kind of sounds selfish. But I think in times like this, you kind of like have to be a little bit. You have to be a little bit selfish, you know. Like I said, there's just so it's not that there's so many things you have to care about. It's that there's so many things that you have to care about that are being presented to you at all times. You know, I'm sure throughout all of history, there's always shit happening, but it's not like readily available information for you to digest. You know, now that we have the age of information, it's like literally I could open my phone and within three scrolls get a video about Overwatch, a video about immigration, a video about Trump being a pedophile. So much information. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't want to worry about that if I can't, you know? Like if I don't need to worry about that, I don't want to, cuz that doesn't benefit me. It doesn't make me eh, live a more enjoyable life. you know? And again, that just sounds selfish, which it is, you know? It is selfish to say, "Oh, I don't care about this because it doesn't affect me." But like that's just the truth of the matter, you know? And it's like I care. I obviously care. I don't want my fellow citizens to be shot dead, you know? I don't want that. I also can't change anything. I'm in Texas. That's all the way up there. Me worrying about that, me channeling my energy towards that doesn't solve it, you know? And that's just it's a crazy confusing mix of emotions there because it's like obviously I want to help. I want to be able to be a part of the solution, but I just can't. I have no ability to. And there's no way that me expressing that will change anything, you know? I think the concept of performative kind of like what is it called? You know this it's like you're saying you support something or you're denouncing something or you're speaking out performative activism. There it is. I feel like the concept of that is insanely egotistical and I don't I don't want to participate in that, you know. A couple weeks ago, I want to say like 4 or 5 weeks ago, on the corner of 380 and 75, there was a bunch of protesters. They did it once when like the No Kings rally was like big, and then did another one a couple weeks ago. But they were out there, and I was like showing my support as I was driving by. I was giving them a thumbs up, you know, hell yeah, you guys are doing your thing. But that's like the most I could have done, you know. Obviously, surely I could have done more, but I was literally driving to work. You know, I was driving to go make money, so I could not stop and protest with them. Obviously, correct. But doing stuff like that, being out, you know, I'm sure standing on a corner with a sign isn't the most productive thing in the world, but it's still insanely more beneficial to society than virtue signaling on my phone, which is what I'm going to segue into is that a lot of people think that if they just say something online, they become like a fucking god. You know, you're oh my god, look at him. He's a hero. Look at this guy. He's denouncing literal Nazis. What a guy. What the fuck? I should not need to tell people that I don't fuck with ICE, you know? That should just be a general assumption made because we're all human beings and that's how human beings should act. They say, "Oh, those are literal supervillains, like henchmen, like fucking what is it, goons? The little like Joker goons? Oh yeah, I don't fuck with those guys." Do I need to say that? Do I need to say that out loud for like approval? And that's another thing is people will announce something like that. You saw it a lot in 2020 with what was it the I don't even know what year I don't even know if it's 2020 when people would post like those black squares on their Instagram in support of Black Lives Matter. Yes, go support them, guys. What the fuck does posting a black square on Instagram do? Literally nothing. You know what I'm saying? I hate the concept of trying to appear like a good person without actively putting in the work to be a good person, you know? I would much rather just be a good person and not say anything about it than try and appear like a good person and not put the work in. That being said, like I still like I haven't been able to do anything. I can't really go out to protest. I don't have any other kind of solution I had. I have no way to demonstrate, you know. I have no way to I can't, you know. I don't know what to do. LOL. But what I'm getting at is like when I look at my phone and I just see these horrific things all of the time. Okay, move on. Next horrific thing on my phone. It's become to a point where like I see what's on my phone. I don't even regard it as like reality. It's just like a thing on my phone. I may in the back of my head like, oh yeah, no, that's like happened in real life, but like the most extent that it will have an impact to me or the people around me is just that a thing on our phone or a thing on our TV, you know. Nothing ever really comes from it. And I think that's even like that's an even scarier thought how nothing ever really like comes from these big moments. I'm gonna retract from all this ice stuff and just focus on Epstein and shit. Literally, what is happening with that? Literally, like what is going on? The like so it's either we don't have the files or we do have the files or they're fully like heavily redacted or some shit. Like what is going on? I don't like I've lost interest in it because it's not happening. It's not impactful. Nothing's changing, you know? The most impact Epstein has had on my life is by filling up my fucking Instagram reels with his stupid Vigil AI model. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what we've come to where all of these horrific tragedies and events nothing ever comes of them other than fucking Instagram reels, dude. I get reels of Renee Good, what are their names? Derek Chauvin, George Floyd, and Charlie Kirk all just being Vigil AI'd on different things. I don't understand what the fuck is happening anymore, but I understand that these people have just become caricatures on my phone. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's happening. I can't care about these things if no resolution is ever met. And then in the meantime of no resolution being met, they're being memed on my phone. You know? I don't I can't care. Like and again, it's like obviously I do care. Obviously I don't know what the nurse guy's name is, but that Renee Good lady, she did not need to die. Hot take, guys. Middle-aged white woman did not deserve to get fucking mag dumped in the face. Hot take, I know. But it's like that happens, and then what? The other guy gets shot. Nothing happened with Renee Good. There's no justice. There's no like resolution. There's no like protocol change or regime change or like any sort of resistance or anything. Everyone just fucking stands around with their hands behind their backs, fucking twiddling their thumbs. And it's like, okay, cool. She's dead now. Okay. Well, like, oh, she's on my phone and she's doing the fucking Harlem Shake. Okay. What? What the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm like these horrific things happen and it just doesn't fucking matter. It just does not matter. When Charlie Kirk died, obviously some people gave a shit, but his death was immediately fucking. I just literally mentioned him a second ago. He's in these fucking dude. He's in like some like Agartha edits talking to Yakub and in an AI image of Logan Paul in a Nazi SS uniform talking about needing quadratic formulas in order to get into Agartha. I don't know what the fuck is going on. You know what I'm saying? These things, these big fucking monumental events that should genuinely change the course of policy and history in general are just fucking meaningless memes on my phone at this point because nothing is happening and I can't do anything to make anything happen. You know, I'm in fucking Anna, Texas. I can't go up there and stop them myself. You know, I can't do shit. So what am I left to do? I'm left to laugh at the stupid fucking memes on my phone and not give a shit. And that's the worst part of it all. Because if I were to give a shit, you know, if I were to really spend my time dwelling in these thoughts and preaching to my phone and doing whatnot, what happens? What changes in the world? Literally nothing. Real change comes from policy change, comes from removing these people from office, comes from gunning these guys down in the street. I'm frankly kind of confused how they haven't gotten to that point yet. I don't know how a lot of these ICE agents are able to go home to their families alive. If it was me up there would probably be a lot less of them going home alive. But that's exactly my point. These horrific things happen. That alligator Alcatraz Island thing, whatever happened to that? That was just a fucking news headline for like a month, and now no one really gives a shit about it anymore. What happened there, man? What the fuck? What the fuck happened? That was a meme for like a month, and now it's gone, and it's over, and we're on to the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and all of this bullshit, all of this, all of this garbage is just distracting us from the fact that our president has had sex with 13-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? What is like what the hell? And again, I can't change the fact that my president has had sex with a 13-year-old girl. I can't go and punish him for his crimes, Punisher style. You know what I mean? I can't do anything. So for me personally, why would I spend my mental resources? Wow. Why would I spend my mental resources focusing on that? You know? I would much rather protect my peace and figure out my own way through life. You know, because as much as it may suck to always open my phone and just have a new thing to be upset about, or have another thing happen in my country that is just inexcusable and I should be outraged for, nobody benefits from the internal rage you have when looking at these things unless that rage leads to actions of importance. If you're just going to get upset and then and then keep scrolling, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Who literally cares? I just wish I was able to make more of an impact. I was in a position to make an impact, because when you are just like the civilian, when you are just the guy, you know, there's nothing you can do but watch as your entire country crumbles around you. Thank you. Who, you know, doesn't help me, doesn't help them. It doesn't it's not fun to me. It's not fun for them, you know? At the end of the day, they want something fixed, and I want them to get off the phone. So the fastest way to do that is just to be the person who can just take that brunt, like force, take that brunt aggression, and then just get them over with. And it's not even like, oh, I just want to get this done so I can go back to my thing. It's more like I want to help this person as much as I can, but I also don't want to listen to this person. I swear, if I go get my laptop from work, I could probably pull like a 15-20 minute call of her just yelling at me, and it's not fun. I don't enjoy it, but I also have a level of understanding, a level of insight into what some of these people are going through, to be able to understand where that anger is coming from, so I can better assess it, address it, and then find a solution. What I'm trying to say with this video, guys, is be nice to the people that are working customer service. Please don't yell at me when I'm at work. I don't enjoy it. Thank you.